And there is the lineup there, and Jesse Mendez, the two-time defending national champion, bringing an unblemished record of 6-0 in against A.J. Rallo, who was one of the top wrestlers for Bellarmine with a 33rd national ranking. And he was on the Southern Conference all-freshman team last year. And he is trying to come out and show that he is not overwhelmed by the task of facing Mendez. And he's trying to stay off his back here. And he finally slipped out. Takedown was recorded in the midst for Rallo to take a 3-0 advantage. So he's come out like he shot out of a cannon.
And that's what you have to do. You have to overwhelm Jesse Mendez, keep him on the back feet, force him to have to try to come to you. And that's what he's done so well at doing early.
He said he's trying to show that he's not going to be overwhelmed, and what better way to do that than to come out aggressively and take the lead.
Like you said, Rallo named to SoCon all-freshman team last year. He received the first individual ranking in program history when he was tabbed number 27 in the 141 weight class by Flow Wrestling back in January of this year. And he also earned an at-large bid to the NCAA championship, so he knows what it takes to defeat guys like Jesse Mendez.
And Mendez with a hard-won escape. I don't know if he knows how to beat somebody like Jesse Mendez, because I doubt he's gone up against a two-time defending national champion before, but he certainly looks like he's trying to add that to his resume. And he's trying once again to go to the attack. Rallo, a 4-time Missouri State champion. And he might have a training table secret. He says his favorite meal is ice cream, so maybe that gave him some extra energy for this match.
Hey, you never know. I wonder what flavor of ice cream.
And there we go with a quick single leg shot there by Mendez. No control as yet, though. Into the final minute of this first period, and there, finally, Mendez is able to consummate the takedown to take a 4-3 advantage. And I'm sure that probably lit a fire under him. Sometimes you don't want to wake up the proverbial sleeping bear by taking that early lead. But on the other hand, there's no point in holding it back. And he's going to kick him out here, so they'll even it at 4. And once again, Mendez trying to go for the takedown, but unsuccessful so far. Still no control. 13 seconds remaining. And Rallo has done a good job of keeping himself out of that vulnerable position. It looks like he might be able to wait out the first period clock. And he has, in fact. And I'm sure that if you told him he could be even after the first period, he wouldn't mind that.
No, not at all. Especially getting a takedown as well. Maybe he would have thought an escape or something of that nature, but to get a takedown on Jesse Mendez is huge. Now he'll be on the bomb to try to get another point.
Mendez defeated the number 2 ranked Brock Hardy of Nebraska in that National Duels Invitational. He also won a highly anticipated match against number 6 Anthony Enchamendia of Iowa State. He won 7-3, Mendez. So he's had some big wins already this year. And escape quickly here for Rallo as once again he moves into a advantage on the scoreboard at 5-4. And he's been pretty good at making Mendez work to take him down. And he gets inside of Rallo this time, takes him down, but has not yet gained control. There it is. And now he's starting to accumulate the near fall points as well. He's got him on his back trying to get that second shoulder blade down.
And a great job by Mendez. Opened it up, faked it, then went low, took him to the ground, got around to get to those ankles for the takedown.
So he gets 4 points for the takedown in the near fall. It's 11-5. And he has now gained the last 7 points in a row after having trailed 5-4 in the early going in the second period.
Like you said, Greg, sometimes you just need that fire lit under you.
Stalemate, they go back to the center of the mat. These great wrestlers, they thrive on competition. They don't want to just go out there and beat somebody without breaking a sweat. And Rallo has given him that. He's going to let Rallo out. And then Rallo tries to turn it right around on him, which sometimes is a good tactic when your opponent has kicked you out, but Mendez was prepared for it, and then he turned it back against Rallo for the takedown.
And Rallo tried to slip away, tried to turn his body, but Mendez there goes in a circle, finds the backside for another 3 points.
Sometimes when they kick you out for the 1 point, you feel they might be surprised if you go right back at them like that. Don't give them even a moment. And he tried it, had some apparent early success, but Mendez was able to stem the tide and turn it around. Now we're down to 10 seconds remaining in the second period. And it appears that the period is going to end on that 14-6 score, as Mendez has successfully retaken control of the match. And they start a third in neutral position.
He's looking for that major decision currently.
Once again, he got in with that single leg shot. He's not been able to translate that into points as yet. Rallo, a very good defensive wrestler, but finally the takedown is completed, and that makes the score 17-6. And trying to gain some additional points, but a stalemate is called. And once again, we see that Mendez will be in a position of trying to gain those additional points to win the tech fall.
Be his third win by tech fall. Has 2 wins by tech fall, 2 by pin, and 1 by major decision.
Score 17-7, as again Rallo is able to get that escape point. He gets in quickly on him, takes him down. Let's see if he can gain control. And now he not only has done that, but he's practically got him on his back with 45 seconds to go. As he tries to get that fall, he also has near fall points accumulating. And this should get it to the tech fall range. He would like to try to finish off the fall if he can. There's still a lot of time for Rallo to have to hold on in order to get out without the fall being recorded. But he's getting closer to it as we're down to 15 seconds. They wore the 4 near fall points to bring the final score to 24-7. But Rallo at least is able to ward off the fall. Nevertheless, after he led by 5-4 early in the second period, Mendez completely turned it around.
And he did exactly what he needed to do. The fire was lit underneath him by Rallo. He just immediately attacked, got that first takedown to go up 4-3. They were level going into the second period. But since then, Jesse Mendez showed why he is a 2-time NCAA champion and gets his third win by tech fall.
Avoid that situation. You have a chance to be successful. Let's see how he's able to do against Brandon Cannon. That might well be his approach. Say, hey, if I can get an opening, let's see if I can get a fall out of this. But Cannon, having none of that early on with a quick takedown.
And just trying to roll him over on his back. Good job by Prechtel to flip back over as Cannon attacking very quickly.
And 5 points and then the 1 escape point for Prechtel. And as he said, his record would not seem to indicate that he is a conservative wrestler. Let's see if maybe he will try to dictate some things in the manner that we saw A.J. Rallo come out and try to do against Jesse Mendez. Not being at all intimidated by the caliber of his opponent. But Cannon, once again, gets a takedown. make it 8-1 for a moment. The no control was issued, but then he gained control. And quickly that 7-point advantage. And the one thing is, when you win a lot of matches by fall, you can fall behind in terms of the points. You can be down big. But if you can make that one move,
yeah,
you can
get him
turn
on
the
his
whole thing
back,
around.
possibly get him in a cradle, whatever it takes to get him in the fall. Like you said, Gray, doesn't matter. You can be down 12-2.
That's why you got to be careful with a wrestler like this. I'm sure that Cannon is aware of that.
I'm sure if you're Prechtel, you got to be thinking that might be your only chance to get a win against a top 5 wrestler in the weight class in Brandon Cannon.
Exactly. And another takedown, plus the 2 near fall points. So if he's going to do it, he's going to have to make his move quick because the score is mounting. Cannon has come out like the proverbial cannon here.
Be the 4th win by tech fall for Brandon Cannon. He's tied for his most major decision wins this season with 3.
Still quite a bit of time remaining, 50 seconds in this first period. Of course, the first period is the longest. It's more of a battle of attrition. And still a minute to go. It's Cannon plotting a way to try to add to his 13-2 advantage. Prechtel has been warned for stalling, and you can tell that's what he's trying to do, is just get to the end of the period and try to regroup.
And he's got 5 seconds to try to do it.
And it's a long 5 seconds, it can seem. But there, finally, the buzzer goes. Buckeyes get their choice, and Cannon takes the down position. Those choices tell a lot about the strategy of the wrestler. He feels confident that he can get the reversal and then go right back to work. As he nearly did, but he still has not established control. And another stalling warning on Prechtel. And that penalty point will bring the score to 14-2.
Getting close to that technical fall. If he can escape here and get that takedown.
Prechtel holding on for dear life, knowing that that could just about mean the jig is up if Cannon is able to escape and effect a reverse. But he has done it there. That makes it 16-2. And he's just knocking on the door of the tech fall as the near fall points being accumulated.
1 minute remaining, second period.
With still a minute remaining in the second period.
Just trying to use that left arm and get Prechtel on his back.
That's it. So the 4 near fall points brings the score to 20-2 and the match to a conclusion. A tech fall for Brandon Cannon over Jeb Prechtel, and Ohio State continues their perfect mark thus far in this matchup with Bellarmine at the Covelli Center. Feldman went at it in the Clarion Open. Feldman won 8-3. You see he's undefeated, but certainly I think we can expect a competitive match here, as we've already seen them do that earlier in the year.
Yeah, and this Daulton Mayer has the opportunity. He was ranked 2nd in the NCAA in falls with 17 last season, so he knows how to get it done. A SoCon All-Conference honoree last year. He's already faced off against Feldman once on the mat. This is his opportunity to try to right his wrongs at the Clarion Open.
In 3 different publications, Mayer is ranked between 32nd and as high as 27, so he, according to some, in the top 30 in the nation, within the top 30. So he'll be a formidable opponent for Nick Feldman, who is second in the Big Ten in 2024, fifth in 2025 last year, and he was fifth in the NCAAs as an All-American in 2024. And looks like early he got contacted inadvertently there, and immediate official timeout. One thing about Feldman, even though he's a heavyweight, he's an active heavyweight.
Yes.
He will move.
He doesn't move like a heavyweight. Usually you talk in heavyweights, there's not a lot going on, maybe a 3-2 decision, and it's not a lot happening, but he is quick for a heavyweight fighter.
I'm sure that both of these wrestlers learned a little bit about each other, and maybe can put that strategy to use. No control here as Mayer wraps Feldman up. Still no control. And heavyweights, no matter how active one might be, typically you don't see the flurry of points you see at the lower weight classes, and so there's more of a premium on points.
And Feldman, he knows how to put on the points. 4 wins coming by tech fall. Perfect 10-0. Went 4-0 in the Clarion Open to win his first ever collegiate event.
And that shows that he is maybe a little bit of a different kind of heavyweight wrestler, accumulating all those tech falls, although in the match with Mayer, the final score was a relatively conservative 8-3. It just announced the current rating for Mayer is number 29, so he's still inside that number 30 mark. And that's the official mark. And there, Feldman made the leg attack and got him down with a really vigorous takedown to make it 3-0.
And we're going to see the challenge here. The block was thrown.
Now the score mounts to 7. That's Feldman. As you said, he's a very active heavyweight, and he can make those kind of moves to get his opponent down and then build from that. And in 3-point near fall. So in just the first period, he's already exceeded his point total from that previous matchup.
And he's very close to that tech fall, but we saw the coach's challenge. The block kind of came flying into your view as Bellarmine wants to take a look at things.
Saw another such situation that proved to be very, very important, and you could even say it maybe decided the match. They are checking the near fall criteria that resulted in the additional points being awarded for Feldman, but that penalty point that Gavin Ricketts got against Kayan Smith after one of these consultations ended up being the deciding factor, and one could very well argue in that match. Meanwhile, you see the coaching going on. Ned Shook has continued to have a smile on his face throughout this, and his team will not take home a goose egg as a result of the victory that they recorded at 184. But Feldman, he really took charge of this match right from the start, after there was reason to believe that we might have a very competitive matchup here.
Looks like that we're going to have a quick decision here, possibly. Already going over to talk to the opposing coaches.
And they do uphold the 4 near fall points that were awarded. And so the score is 10-0. And he'll just let him out. And now Mayer trying to go back to the attack, but instead Feldman takes him down to make it 13-1. And he is one move away from already tech falling this, and we have not even completed the first period yet. I guess he was ready for him after that earlier match, which was probably the toughest match he had at the Clarion Open. And it appears Mayer is going to at least survive the first period.
Feldman will look to try to get him in the second period, but he is so agile. You just don't see that for a guy of his weight class, just how quick and how fast he is at getting behind and getting those takedowns.
Feldman will start in the down position. It's pretty hard to figure out a strategy when you're down 13-1, I guess, as we said in the earlier match. And Bellarmine wrestler had gotten a lot of falls. That's about all you can hope for. And quickly, again, Feldman shows his ability to disentangle himself from a grip. And the stalling warning will take it back to the center of the mat.
Great job by Feldman, just gets back quickly, immediately just trying to get that takedown.
And again, kicks him out. And when you're down 13-1 and you kick out the wrestler, it shows that you've got to try something anyway. But even though it's very unlikely to pan out, and there it is, the quick takedown again by Feldman, and that makes it 17-1, and that's tech fall. So what a difference a couple of weeks makes.
Yes, 8-3 to go immediately.
17-1.
Yeah, he learned a couple things. Probably watched the film, seen what he could do better, and he took that to heart.
Yeah, I'm sure that being in front of his home crowd and all of the energy that entails certainly didn't hurt.